Good evening, viewers. Uh, at the Idea Factory platform, we are back with another exciting program on a topic called orbit shifting. And today we have leadership and executive coach, Mr. Sushant Sharma, with us in this session. And we will be discussing on a very interesting topic on orbit shifting, which is moonlighting, and we will see, explore moonlighting in relation to orbit shifting and whether orbit shifting adds some value to the moonlighting debate that we have seen today. With this backdrop, I'll ask the first question to Mr. Sushant. Mr. Sushant, if you could just tell us what is moonlighting and what is the current debate on moonlighting today?
Okay. Can you hear me? Hi.
Yes.
Hi, Abir. Good evening. How are you? So, before we talk about moonlighting, let's just first understand what moonlighting is all about, right? And why there is so much, noise around this word today. What exactly is moonlighting and how does it matter in today's corporate world, especially in the IT sector? It is going to be talked about. See, the practice of working for one organization while taking up extra responsibilities for jobs, like typically without the employer's knowledge. Without the employer's knowledge is referred as moonlighting. When employer is not aware what my employees are doing, right? So it is called, so the side of employment is typically performed at night or on the weekends. Typically on the nights, like once evening, when the moon, as the term, moonlighting, once the moon appears, that time, when the client is, your employee is already doing one job in the morning and he takes up another job which is beyond his working hours for one company, maybe around 3-4 hours every day is spending on some other job also, or maybe in the weekend kind of a job he has taken. So that is moonlighting, typically performed at night on the weekends. The phrase becomes well known when Americans began looking for second jobs. When it actually happened, when Americans started looking for second jobs in addition to their regular 9 to 5 jobs to supplement their incomes. So let's accept the fact. Let's accept the fact there has been freelance economy going on. There's gig economy going on. Now, I'm sure you understand what is gig economy, right? Gig economy is when there is assignment-based jobs are given to them. So in that kind of economy, I'm free to take four companies, four companies, different jobs I'm doing all through the day. So that kind of economy I'm doing. But the problem starts when you have a permanent on roll of a company where your employer is expecting you to give your full dedication, full, all kind of commitments are there with that company. Other than that, also, you are engaging yourself in some other work because your salary is not sufficient, maybe. And post Corona, this has happened, guys. Let's accept it. Post COVID, we have been people have lost their jobs. People have they're forced to do jobs at much lesser of their salaries what they used to get pre-COVID levels. So that is also supporting the entire cause. So that is also happening here. So these are the reasons, with to supplement their incomes. Now it comes to, is it ethical? Is it really ethical to do moonlighting? The IT sector is divided. When we talk about the IT sector in particular, it is divided when it comes to moonlighting. Some call it unethical, while others believe it's need of the hour. It is required currently. In current scenario, this is the need of the hour. Like Wipro chairman recently, Rishabh Premji, is absolutely clear about his take on this. There's a lot of chatter about people moonlighting tech industry. This is cheating. He calls it cheating, plain and simple. That's it. Now, why he calls it this? Let's just understand even another guy, Mohandas Pai, what he says about it. Mohandas Pai says disagree with the Premji. He totally disagree on this. The former director of Infosys does not consider moonlighting cheating. He never says this is cheating. He says employment is a contract between an employer who pays me for working for them. Now it's a contract between you and me who pay me for working for them for n number of hours a day. You give me salary for a certain time, right? Beyond that time, whatever I do, whomsoever I meet, whatever, wherever do I ever engage myself, this is none of your business. Let's accept it. So they pay me for working for them in number of hours a day. Now what I do after my time is my freedom. I can do what I want. Business today, he was said, he even said that in business today. So this is what it is, Even another guy, Mr. CP Gurnani, Tech Mahindra, he said it was not rampant. Few years back, it was not rampant. Gurnani admitted the organization would probably make a policy Companies are making a policy now on moonlighting, you know that, to allow workers to openly pursue multiple jobs at once. They're very much supporting this, and they want to make an HR policy also out of this. If you want to do it, sure, but be open about it and share with us. Let's be transparent. If you are doing another job, let your employer at least know about it. Yes, I'm doing it. I'm not hiding anything from you. So this is what they want, Now another CEO of Mr. Ganpati Subramaniam of TCS, he described as an ethical issue. He says it's completely ethical. You lose out in the long run when this is like made this for short-term gains. Let's accept it when we are doing two, three jobs, like when you're sailing on the two boats, there can be an issue. Swiggy earlier announced that industry first policy that allowed moonlighting for its employees. Any project or activity that is taken up outside office hours on the weekend without affecting productivity and does not have conflict of interest can be picked up by employees. Swiggy said that. When Swiggy is announcing, they are saying this, there can be an issue, right? It should be done. I don't think any problem in that, as long as you are doing it and you are doing ethically and your employer knows about it. So this is how it is. So, having said that, what do you think, Abir? What is your takeaway on this entire issue? If I
Right.
talk about, yeah, please.
First of all, Mr. Sushant, it was a very good, backdrop of moonlighting debate that is happening in India today. But there are certain key observations that I have over the debate. First of all, the concept of two jobs at a time is nothing new. The same debate could have happened 5 years back, or 10 years back, or even 15 years back. And I'm sure there have been people working for two jobs uh, simultaneously to make both ends meet, and nobody perhaps knew about it, or it didn't take up a national topic of discussion. So, to some extent, I would say that this topic is coming from the US, and because it is coming from the US, the context are slightly different. So, what is very relevant for them may not be very relevant for us. For example, in the US, they have 9 to 5 jobs. That means they leave for their homes by 5 o'clock. So, essentially, they have about 5 hours every day to spare, and that perhaps is one of the reasons why they have taken up a second job after the COVID, or even most probably it's a very recent phenomenon, and that's why the term came to be known only recently. But if you look at India in the context, first of all, as I told you, this concept has been done there long before. Number two, I am not sure whether people do enjoy 9 to 5 jobs in India, because as of now, there are various debates also happening along with this debate. One of the debates is happening by, for the 18-hour weekday that has been, spoken about by the Indian shaving company CEO, and there has been a divided opinion around it when he said that youngsters or freshers should work for 18 hours a day. So again, there we are talking of 18 hours a day, and then we are talking of 9 to 5 jobs. Another debate that has happened, or recent news that have come, that one of the startup companies, they talked about some interview hacks wherein they're interviewing people at 8 o'clock in the morning, or at 11 p.m. in the night, or over the weekends, to see whether people are working or capable of working, or does it ring an alarm in them, or whether they can travel to the company with an overnight notice. So this is the typical Indian culture, which is kind of the long hours, toxic environment, 14 hours, 7 days a week, 24 by 7. And I think we are in complete different scenario. So this topic is not very, very, I wouldn't say at the top of the mind. It's more or less, maybe these IT companies are saying because a large percentage of their population is in the US. I mean, they serve US clients, their employees are in US, and maybe through that the CEO is talking in India. But if you look at it from the Indian context, this may not be a very relevant topic, today. Maybe it could have, maybe we have come a long way to discuss a topic like this today. I mean, we are at a much higher platform. Here we are trying to take organizations at a much higher level when we are essentially talking about moonlighting. Even if it is there, it also doesn't speak very well of the organization culture. Okay, first of all, this 9 to 5 jobs, I don't know what is the percentage of 9 to 5 jobs. Even government jobs today are quite stretched, and people do not come home before 7 or 8 in the morning, evening. And the essential, the late evening job may not be a very significant role. It may not be a full-time job, as you have rightly said. It could be only a freelancing assignment that you can afford to take after for about 2 hours a day, and cannot be classified as a job, because a day job has its own importance, and a job which can be done in the evening can at least be a freelancing or a assignment project based kind of thing, which is again a gig economy. So whether is it a one full job with a freelancing assignment, or two full on jobs that we are talking of as a definition of moonlighting. Okay, and freelancing with a job, I there is nothing to talk about a big hue and cry around it. If people can manage to squeeze in 2 hours a day with a freelancing job, there is nothing wrong or unethical around it. Okay, so that's the bigger point. So typically, the context changes when you come over to India and the business environment. We are also at a phase in India where we are trying to strengthen organization. I think post COVID, we are at a different pedestal. We are trying to build world class organization with the best of learnings, because COVID has taught us a lot. We are learning all the time. But yes, after COVID, we have learned a lot. And after that, going back to those, old thought processes of 18-hour weekdays, or, getting multiple salaries beyond this thing, is something that, can be contextually handled. It is indeed true that many people are salary financially not strengthened, and that perhaps could be one of the reasons, but that also weakens the organization. So getting two jobs or doing a freelancing job makes the main organization slightly weaker, because that much amount of time, if you could have afforded to the same organization with a higher salary, I mean, of course, the payout has to be there. I mean, there was no need to go for another job. So actually, it's talking about a gap between an organization's understanding of the ambition of the individual or requirements of an individual and the actual requirements of the individual. So typically, I can summarize it as a divergent organization and individual goals. Individuals have those goals, organizations have those goals, but they are actually not at the same place. And perhaps moonlighting is one of the outcome of such a thing. And perhaps, if you ask me, it's kind of a regressive topic to talk on, for India at this point in time. Okay, so this being the overall key takeaway, there would be more. And even recently, the Prime Minister has made a statement saying that India is ready for work from home ecosystem and flexible work hours. So basically, we are in the mode of a flexible mode or a fluid state of work, and perhaps moonlighting doesn't fit into this, because we have to improve, strengthen the existing working ecosystem to accommodate flexible working hours, to accommodate multiple revenue models, and various other requirements that people are having post COVID. And maybe the organization business model has to be tweaked uh, farther better, rather than allow the employee to one more job, and then to meet his financial needs. Also, it also, whenever it's a second job, obviously the profile cannot be as good as the main job. So typically, people are taking up this job only for the money part and not for the profile. So having said that, if the money requirement is the biggest issue, of course, I think organizations should recognize that and should work towards improving the financial, profitability of its own organization, and helping people to improve their salary content. This is,
Abir, I can't hear you. Your voice get dropped.
is it? Okay. It's almost over. I'm just passing on the question to you, Mr. Sushant. My question
Yeah.
to you is that what are the current examples, or your own experience around moonlighting in the space that you are in, beyond what you have already said? Is there anything more you want to add around that?
Yes, definitely. See, Abhi, it's something like as you asked me, my own experience. Right now, honestly speaking, I'm someone with more than 20 years of experience in corporate finance, right? I've dealt with corporate finance, I've into merchant banking and banking also. And last 2 3 years, I'm completely into trainings. When you talk about trainings, it's soft skill training, personal grooming trainings, and since I have a financial background also, and I'm a multi-experienced person, like someone with a diversified experience. I've worked with mutual funds, I've worked with the asset management companies and debt markets also, and now last 3 years, I'm into startup ecosystem where entrepreneurs reach out to me for their startup, for consultancy, for qualified mentorship, and all that. That's what I provide. So it's a mix of talent. It's a mix of my experience. It's a mix of kind of a skill set what I have. So this is where I would say moonlight comes in picture. This is where freelancing is possible. Freelancing, I'm already doing it right now. Currently, also, I'm associated with a government sponsored incubator where I work for almost 70 80% of my day goes into that. Other than that, also 20 30% I'm into freelancing. Whenever I get time, I go reach out to colleges also. I give their sessions. They call me, they invite me, and of course, they pay me also for that. And this is something even my employer also aware of it. So this is where I'm also currently I'm doing moonlighting, and my employer is totally aware of the fact. I'm not hiding anything from him. It's not that I'm not sharing this information and secretly I'm doing something. No, it's not that. My employer is completely aware what I'm doing. At the same time, as long as I'm performing in that the kind of work, what are expectations, what is my KRA in that my primary job, as long as I'm serving that, I don't think he should have a problem, and which he's not having. So this is where I'm doing justice. It's something like, you need to do the justice to the role, what is expected from you. And be very clear, be very transparent, and be very, it's not that like you are having three girlfriends at the same time and no one knows of each, none of them know about, each other. So I'm not playing, I'm not deceiving anybody. My function is not deception. I'm making things very clear from the beginning. This is what I am doing. And since, okay, I till 4 o'clock I may be here, 5 o'clock I may be here. But once I'm at home, I might attend some online sessions also, which I will be paid, which my employer is okay with it. So this is how it is. Yeah. Tell me. So having said that, if I ask you the kind of expectations and what is your take on that, let's just see this. How orbit shifting can address the moonlighting dilemma? What do you think about it?
Right. I think let me share a small slide around that. Yeah. Actually, let us say, understand that we are discussing moonlighting in the context of orbit shifting and whether orbit shifting can resolve some of the challenges thrown by moonlighting to the Indian business context. Towards that, let us look at a few, thought processes that goes into moonlighting. Like as far as I told you, moonlighting is a clear indication that employees are not very happy within the organization, especially on the financial or maybe also with the profile. But moonlighting may not solve the profile that much because assuming a day job is more prominent, more important, I would say the moonlighting, the second job would be relatively, lower in terms of the context, or maybe, as you rightly said, it could be consulting assignments or project-based assignments, could be more intellectually rewarding also. But more importantly, I think it solves the financial problem a bit more for people who are not fully satisfied with the kind of salary that they get in the organization, or in the kind of increment or the kind of salary roadmap that the organization is showing for the short to medium term. And let us understand, people, time waits for no man, and obviously people don't have too much time on their side, and obviously they try various means to meet their own financial needs. Okay, so that is very very important to understand that moonlighting uh, takes care of the financial shortfall that your main job is not able to satisfy you in the short or medium term. And they are continually doing this for over a period of time. So I'm assuming it's a freelancing or it's a second job, whatever it is, depending upon the country that you're in. Maybe in the US, you could do a full fledged two jobs. In the India, you might be able to do a job or a freelancer. In the IT sector, it's more relevant because you can work from home and also work from home assignment because you can work against the time zones, and maybe you are working serving a different continent when you are working on a different time zone. So to that extent, maybe that is possible to manage two jobs together. But it also, as I told you, it also brings that the organization and the employees are now in different, they are not on the same page, because the organization has a different goal and the employee cannot see that goal as relating to that. And maybe that is one of the reasons. And also it weakens an organization and it becomes regressive in today's context, because you are, yeah, the regressive to be constant, that we are saying, uh, you know, uh, two jobs is not the solution to improve a long-lasting organization. Maybe we can talk it from our context, because our context is orbit shifting and to build a long-lasting organization, to strengthen an organization, not to weaken it. So from that point of view, I think orbit shifting solves a lot of problems. And look at it, like first of all, the orbit shifting gives you the choice of building your own profile over a period of time. We have covered in the previous videos how an organization has the power and capability to allow the employee to improve his profile in sync with organization priorities over the short and the medium term. So the concept of the profile building is quite improved when you are following an orbit shifting methodology out there. Also, where we are not talking about two salary jobs. Here we may not be talking about two salary jobs, but we are talking about a higher payout because of this process.
Abir, listen. I'm getting a call urgent. I need to go. Sorry. I think we can cover it rest of the time in sometime later on. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm getting a call which is very urgent. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so
Right.
much.